let's talk on this data types in Java. Now, just you have to notice that what is data type in Java? Now, data type is nothing but what is the type of data. Which is in Java, it means what is the type of data, be it a string, be it be a char, be it be a floating point number, a decimal point number. It represents basically it represents the type of the data. So you may be having a data of a student like student IDs, student employee ID, student roll number, and all those things like student name, your section, and all those things. So if you're given data of student ID, then it should be in the form of number. So student ID should not be in the form of string. So therefore, integer is a data type. If your employee ID, if your student ID is number, then it should be a data type of integer. Okay. So now, what you have to remember is here in the regarding this data type, you have to remember what is the data type in Java, then what are the advantages and how to declare it and how to use it. These three things are important. And now, basically, we have to focus on practical. Now, theoretical, I think is not that important if you are joining in the private companies or no. If you are doing being as a developer, you have to do this practical thing. So theory is not that important, I think, but you have to have a concept of these things. Okay. Now let's begin with let's talk furthermore on this data type. I'm going to explain you in detail. Now data types, there are 8 primitive data types in Java. So I have told you, right? There's byte, short, int, long. Byte, short, int, long. Just you have to remember. Sequence is also important. If you can keep the sequence like byte, short, int, long, which is for numerical values, which is to represent the numerical values. Float and long for decimal and point numbers, and char for representing single character, then boolean for representing the true and false, and all the things. Yeah. Now, as I've told you, these data types are used according to your requirement in the project. For example, you can use integer with the help of your requirement because there is ranges. If you are using this byte, here you can see there is a range is 128 to 127 bytes. 127 and short we have yeah, there is ranges and no need to read all those things. Just and I'm also going to give you how to calculate these range values for these data types. There is a certain formula. I'm just going to give you one example regarding this byte in the later in the following video. And now yeah, now byte, its size is 1 byte, then short it is 2 byte. These are the size of these data types. Int 4 bytes. It means that when you are declaring the data type as int, 4 bytes of memory is being allocated. So for example, so you have to know, like, let's just keep this as here. So when you are declaring like int a equal to 10, now you have to know each and every element. What is int, what is a, what is equal to, and what is that 10, and what is this semicolon. Now when you are declaring int a is equal to 10, we have a meaning for that. That means int is a data, int is a data type, then a is a value or it is a literal, then equal to is a ASSI assignment operator, then we have this semicolon, which represent termination of the code. Terminator. Yeah. Now, based on this int a is equal to 10, I'm going to explain and the definition of this data type. Okay. Now, here the meaning is when we say int a is equal to 10, then comma, the meaning is that variable a is a data type. Means what does it means is VARIAB variable A is a data type of integer int data type of integer. The meaning is that this variable A is holding, this variable A is a data type of integer value holding a value 10. Okay, so now with this example, what I'm going to say is that the definition of this data type is data type is representing the number one from this example. Conclusion from this example one is that data type data type represents data type represents the type of the type of the VARIA data type represents the type of the variable. Then I have to record the note. Data types and number two from this conclusion from this example is number two data type decides the memory size of the variable. Then the conclusion number three is range value is also decided by the data type. So regarding these data types, if in the interview or any kind of like, if you have to tell a concept and if you are to define this data type, just remember these 3 points. That's enough. It's like what is data type? If you are asked what is data type, then just say this data type is nothing but it's a type that it is a data type that is a data type represents the type of the variable. Then here absolute variable A is the data type of int. So data type is representing the type of the variable. Then data type decides the memory size. So if you are declaring this variable, this A is a variable. So therefore, if you are declaring variable A as a data type of integer, it means that when you are declaring this, it means that if you are declaring int A is equal to, it means that when you are declaring A as an int, it means that 4 bytes of memory is being 4 bytes of memory is being allocated for this variable A. So therefore, data type is decided the memory size of the variable, and the range value is also decided by the data type. So for int means here we have a range. We have a range here. Let me show you here. So int means the range is, it should be minus to 1 something to this much. So it's showing the range of the variable. Because of using these data types, we are able to know, we are able to tell that what is the type of the variable, then how many memory is being allocated to the variable, and it also decides the range of the variable. So now just remember these 3 points. So data type represents the type of the variable. The data type decides the memory size of the variable. Then range value is also decided by the data type. Just remember these 3 points. So that's enough for this data type. So in Java, there are 8 primitive data types. So just remember that there are 8 primitive data types. Now, I want to talk something about this as information. I just want to talk you on this. Uh, okay, let's do one example here. I want to remove this here. So let's declare one variable here. Int a is equal to 10. So this is regarding the data type. Int a is equal to 10. Then let's say float if equal to 10.5. So let's try to print these values. A N. Let's save the application. So just guess what is. What will be the output for this. So let me compile here. Java test dot Java. So just guess what is the output for this program. So I compile. So it's giving error. So why it's giving error? So I just wanted to give an information that when you are using the data type as a float, you also have to remember. So when we use, nothing wrong here, right? We have declared float as the data type, then we have f variable, and we have assigned 10.5. So why it should keep the output? So it's giving an error. So what I'm going to say is that it's giving error because if you are using this float as a data type, then we have to use this constant f here. So this is because we have a double. So this is because I'm not going to talk about the double. This is because in Java, in Java, if we are not declaring anything, like if we keep this as a, or if we keep let me keep this an a without having any values, and let's try. We have keep this a just declare it, and we are trying to print it here. So let's say I just want to remove this. Let's compare it. Test.java Java. Non-static variable. A cannot be referenced for most static constants. What's wrong?
Because you don't have that variable, you can't print that.
Int a. Just wait, okay? Static. System root on print this way. Something's wrong. Just wait. Let's just remove this and let me try another approach. Let me declare one method here. Let's say we void void m1. Let's declare one int. Just wait. Wait. Just do it. Just a minute. Default variable. Let's say int a is equal to 10. Float f equal to 10.5. Print default value. Incompatible type possible with conversion of double to float. So what I'm trying to say is that there is for these data types like int, float, and there are 8 primitive data types. Now for those 8 primitive data types, there will be a default value. Like for integer, it should print as 0.0. Then for float also, for double also, it should print as 0.0. Then for char value, it should print a single space. Then for boolean, it should print a default value as a fault. And then like for byte also, it should print as 0.0. And now, this is giving error like when we say float f is equal to 10. So we are not able to do the compilation here, and we are giving the compilation error as possibly lose conversion of double to float. This is giving the error because any kind of like decimal point number, that is here we have a 10.5, any kind of decimal point number, the default value will be a double. So if you are not writing this literal f here, then it will think, if you're not writing this letter f here, and it will think that this is a double value, but when it comes here the data type is a float. So that's why there is a compatibility type error, so compile by general error. So if you are using float, we have to give this literal float. Just I'm going to give this information, I was trying to give this information here. Hope you have understood this regarding this the default value. For every this 8 primitive data types, there will be a default value that is been assigned by the JVM. JVM will be assigning the default values for these primitive data types. So if you are not giving any values to these data types, then JVM is going to assign one value. Now that's all with this data type. So let me clarify on this data type. Earlier, we have one error. Let me just clarify that out. I just missed out what concept, just confused. So maybe I will show you again regarding this data type. Here I have declared, yeah, some of you have commented in the chat. Yeah, that's how you will do. But let me share the screen. Sorry. Yeah, some of the viewers have commented on the chat saying that we have to use static. Yeah, there's also one way, but without using the statics, also we have other ways to do. So let me just say we are giving the error. Let me say let's just print this. System.out.print let's print a and system.out.println is equal to if where's my video. Not connected. What if okay. Yeah. Let's say system F. So the earlier error message, let's read the earlier error message. Java C. The error message is the first error message is incompatible type, possibly lose conversion for double to float, f is equal to 10.5. So this is the first error, and this one is the second error, that is non-static variables cannot be referenced from a static constant. Yeah, some of you have commented on the chat saying that we have to use this static modifier. Yeah, you are also right, but there is other methods also. The first error, let's discuss with this first error. Float f is equal to 10.5. We are giving this error because the JVM when any floating point like 10.5, JVM will consider as a double. Any floating number, the JVM will, at time of execution, JVM will consider this 10.5 as a double. So that's why incompatible type is being given. So float means we have to use 10f. So let's just fix this code. So let's use here f, and let's just say int a. So this is so these concepts and all I'm going to do it in the other lessons. The lesson I think most probably in variable concept. I'm going to talk on this concept. This is and instance. This is instance we carry. Yeah, this is instance variables. So if we put here static, that means this will be a static variable. So let's use it as a static variable. Now here we have a static instance variable. So now when this let's say here public static void main string args. Now main we have here static. Now that the method is static, which means that this block of code is a static area. So therefore when you are trying to access these instance variables to a static area, it should be always it should be accessed with the help of the object reference. So don't worry right now. I'm going to give this concept like how to access the static and non-static variables to a static and non-static area. Okay. So let's say, so this is the static area. So we have an instance variable. We are trying to access this instance variable. So therefore, if you're trying to access this instance variable, we have to do it by do it with the help of object reference. We can't access directly. So let's say let's create one object. So what is object and all? Let's not talk right now. It will be in later videos, later training. Yes. So then we have to access this instance variable in the static area with the help of this object ref no, t dot a and t dot f. Let's check. Let's try to. So let's say this is static method. I mean static area. So we are trying to access these instance variables, that is an instance variable into the static area with the help of object reference t. So this is nothing but this is also a variable. T is a variable. So we are trying to access this instance variable a in the static area. So let's try to execute this program. Java C, we are trying to compile test.java. Yeah, it's compiled successfully. Let's execute Java test. Now, what I'm trying to say you is that here we are printing, we didn't assign any values to this variable a. So, but then we are able to print as 0 because this is a default value. As I have told you, every data type in Java will have a default value like int, it will be 0. Then float, it will be 00, double 00, then char single space, and boolean is I think false. Yeah, false. So just wanted to clarify this. So I hope you understand this. And if you are using here as static, as you have suggested in the STAT static, then we don't have to use this. I think we don't have to use this object. It will be able to access directly, or it will be accessed directly. So that's all with this Java. I think Java data types. Now let me continue with these Java identifiers. Now here, when it comes to Java